Aboriginal Australians hold the keys to humanity's most ancient stories. Their 65,000-year-old culture is a testament to the ingenuity and resilience of our species. In the depths of the Pleistocene era, a time of great climatic upheaval, the Australian continent stood as a vast and mysterious land, shrouded in an impenetrable veil of eucalyptus forests, spinifex grasslands, and arid deserts. The landscape was alive with the sounds of birds, the rustling of leaves, and the gentle lapping of waves against the shores. It was here, amidst this primordial backdrop, that the first Aboriginal Australians set foot, their arrival marking the beginning of a 65,000-year-long saga of human habitation. The earliest migrants to Australia, likely originating from the Indonesian archipelago, would have faced a treacherous journey across the Wallace Line, a biogeographic boundary separating the Asian and Australian faunal regions. These intrepid travelers, armed with rudimentary stone tools and a deep understanding of the natural world, would have navigated the uncertain waters of the Timor Sea, driven by an insatiable curiosity and a thirst for discovery. As they made landfall on the northern shores of Australia, perhaps near the present-day city of Darwin, these early Aboriginal Australians would have encountered a landscape both familiar and alien. The air was thick with the scent of blooming flowers. The earth was alive with the songs of insects, and the skies were ablaze with the vibrant colors of tropical birds. Yet, despite the beauty of this new world, the environment was also unforgiving, with its blistering heat, scarce water resources, and formidable predators. The earliest Aboriginal Australians would have been drawn to the coastal regions, where the bounty of the sea provided a reliable source of food and sustenance. The shores of Australia, teeming with marine life, would have offered an embarrassment of riches, from the succulent flesh of shellfish to the oily meat of fish and sea mammals. It was here, in these coastal ecosystems, that the first Aboriginal Australians developed their unique cultural practices, weaving a complex tapestry of stories, songs, and traditions that would be passed down through generations. One of the earliest known sites of human habitation in Australia is the Majedbe Barak shelter, located in the rugged landscape of Arnhem Land. This ancient site, dated to around 65,000 years ago, bears witness to the ingenuity and adaptability of the first Aboriginal Australians. The artifacts uncovered at Majedbe, including stone tools, ochre, and shell beads, speak to a sophisticated level of cultural and technological development, one that belies the conventional wisdom of a simplistic, primitive society. The narrative of Aboriginal Australia is one of remarkable resilience, of adaptability, and of an unyielding connection to the land. It is a story that spans millennia, a testament to the enduring power of human creativity, and a reminder of our own place within the grand tapestry of history. The earliest Aboriginal Australians would have lived in small, nomadic groups, moving seasonally to exploit the resources of their environment. Theirs was a world of subtle cues and ancient wisdom, where the movements of animals, the patterns of weather, and the rhythms of the earth all held deep significance. It was a world of storytelling, where the past, present, and future were intertwined, and where the Dreamtime, a complex network of ancestral beings and creative events, provided a profound sense of meaning and purpose. We see the emergence of complex social structures, with their attendant systems of kinship, governance, and ritual practice. We witness the development of sophisticated technologies, from the precision-crafted stone tools to the ingenious fish traps and harvesting techniques, and we glimpse the profound spiritual connections that linked these humans to their environment, a sense of belonging that was at once deeply personal and profoundly ecological. As we delve deeper into the lives of these ancient societies, we find evidence of a profound connection to the land, manifest in the intricate rock art that adorns the walls of caves and shelters throughout Australia. The paintings and engravings found at sites such as Kakadu National Park and the Kimberley region reveal a sophisticated understanding of the natural world, with depictions of animals, plants, and ancestral beings that speak to a deep reverence for the land and its rhythms. The use of ochre, a vibrant red pigment, is particularly noteworthy, as it was used not only for artistic expression but also for ceremonial and ritual purposes, highlighting the complex interplay between art, spirituality, and daily life in Aboriginal Australian culture. One of the most fascinating aspects of Aboriginal rock art is the way it provides a window into the lives of these ancient societies, offering glimpses of their technological advancements, social structures, and spiritual practices. For example, the discovery of ancient fish traps, such as those found at the Lake Conda site in Victoria, demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of hydrology and engineering, with intricate stone arrangements designed to harness the power of water to catch fish and other aquatic animals. Similarly, the presence of elaborate burial sites, such as the one found at the Majid Bay Rock Shelter, speaks to a complex system of mortuary practices and ancestral reverence, with evidence of ritual feasting, ceremonial objects, and deliberate burial of the dead. The discovery of ancient trade networks, such as the one that linked the eastern coast of Australia to the Torres Strait Islands, highlights the complex web of relationships that bound these societies together, with the exchange of goods, ideas, byway, and cultural practices, facilitating a rich and dynamic cultural landscape. The arrival of new technologies, such as the dingo, which is believed to have been introduced to Australia around 4,000 years ago, also had a significant impact on Aboriginal Australian cultures. The dingo, which was likely brought to Australia by travelers from Southeast Asia, quickly became an integral part of many Aboriginal societies, with evidence of dingo remains found in ancient campsites and rock shelters throughout the continent. The introduction of the dingo also had significant ecological implications, as it is believed to have played a role in the decline of native species, such as the thylacine and the Tasmanian devil. As the dingo became an integral part of many Aboriginal societies, its impact on the environment and native species continued to unfold. The introduction of this new predator had a ripple effect on the delicate ecosystem, with some species thriving in the presence of the dingo, while others struggled to adapt. For example, the arrival of the dingo is believed to have contributed to the decline of the thylacine, a carnivorous marsupial that was once widespread across mainland Australia. The thylacine, also known as the Tasmanian tiger, was a unique and fascinating creature with its distinctive stripes and powerful jaws. However, as the dingo population grew, the thylacine's numbers began to decline, and by the 20th century, it had become extinct on the mainland. Meanwhile, other Aboriginal societies were developing complex systems of agriculture and food production. In the fertile river valleys of northern Australia, groups such as the Yolngu people of northeast Arnhem Land developed sophisticated irrigation systems, allowing them to cultivate crops such as yams and taro. These early agricultural practices not only provided a reliable source of food, but also enabled the growth of larger, more complex societies. The Yolngu people, for example, developed a rich cultural heritage, with intricate kinship systems, elaborate ceremonies, and a deep connection to their ancestral lands. In other parts of Australia, Aboriginal groups were developing unique technologies to harness the resources of their environment. In the deserts of Central Australia, the Arrernte people developed a sophisticated understanding of water management, constructing complex networks of wells, tunnels, and channels to collect and conserve precious water. These ancient water harvesting systems, such as the ones found at the Simpsons Gap site near Alice Springs, demonstrate a profound understanding of hydrology and engineering, allowing the Arrernte people to thrive in one of the driest environments on Earth. For example, the Pitjantjatjara people of Central Australia developed a sophisticated understanding of bush medicine, using native plants such as the desert lime and the quandong to treat a range of ailments. The bow and arrow allowed for more efficient hunting and gathering practices, enabling groups to expand their territories and develop more complex social structures. The use of the bow and arrow also facilitated the development of new ceremonial practices, such as the initiation ceremonies of the Warlpiri people of Central Australia, which involved intricate dances, songs, and storytelling. For example, the famous songlines of Central Australia, which crisscrossed the desert landscape like a network of invisible pathways, allowed groups to share stories, songs, and cultural practices across vast distances. These songlines, such as the ones sung by the Warlpiri people, were an integral part of Aboriginal Australian culture, providing a deep sense of connection to the land, the ancestors, and the community. The development of complex trade networks also facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultural practices between different regions. The famous trade routes of northern Australia, which connected the coastal communities of the north with the desert societies of the center, allowed for the exchange of precious commodities such as pearl shells, ochre, and bituri. These trade routes, such as the one that linked the Yolngu people of northeast Arnhem Land to the Arrernte people of Central Australia, were an essential part of Aboriginal Australian culture, facilitating the growth of complex societies and the development of rich cultural heritages. As the trade networks continued to expand, they played a crucial role in the spread of new technologies, such as the introduction of the dingo, which is believed to have been brought to Australia by Aboriginal people around 4,000 years ago. The dingo quickly became an integral part of Aboriginal culture, serving not only as a hunting companion, but also as a source of food, clothing, and companionship. In some regions, such as the deserts of Central Australia, dingoes were considered sacred animals, featuring prominently in the mythology and ceremonial practices of groups like the Pitjantjatjara people. The exchange of goods and ideas along trade routes also facilitated the development of complex social hierarchies, with certain individuals and families accumulating wealth and status through their control of key resources and trade pathways. In the coastal communities of Northern Australia, for example, the Yolngu people developed a system of hereditary leaders, known as Dakiar, who played a crucial role in mediating trade disputes and maintaining social order. These leaders were often responsible for organizing large-scale ceremonies and trade fairs, which brought together people from different regions to exchange goods, share stories, and reaffirm social bonds. One notable example of such a ceremony is the Garma Festival, which was held annually by the Yolngu people in northeast Arnhem Land. The Garma Festival brought together thousands of people from across northern Australia, featuring elaborate dances, songs, and storytelling performances, as well as the exchange of precious commodities like pearl shells and ochre. The festival was also an important occasion for resolving disputes and reaffirming social alliances, with leaders from different regions gathering to discuss trade agreements, marriage arrangements, and other matters of mutual interest. In the deserts of Central Australia, for example, the Arrernte people established a system of mediator leaders who were responsible for resolving disputes between different families and clans. These mediators, known as Quertingale, played a crucial role in maintaining social harmony, using their knowledge of traditional law and custom to negotiate peaceful resolutions to conflicts over resources, territory, and other issues. The Arrernte people also developed a complex system of kinship and marriage, which was based on a detailed understanding of genealogical relationships and ancestral affiliations. This system, known as the section system, divided society into 8 distinct subsections, each with its own set of rights and responsibilities. The section system played a crucial role in regulating marriage arrangements, trade partnerships, and other social relationships, helping to maintain balance and harmony within Arrernte society. In other parts of Australia, Aboriginal groups were developing their own unique systems of governance and social organization. In the rainforests of northern Queensland, for example, the Kuku-Yalanji people established a system of clan leaders who were responsible for managing the resources and territories of their respective clans. These clan leaders, known as Bubu, played a crucial role in maintaining social order, using their knowledge of traditional law and custom to regulate hunting and gathering practices, resolve disputes, and organize ceremonial activities. As Aboriginal societies continued to evolve and adapt to changing environmental conditions, they also developed sophisticated systems of ecological management. In the deserts of Central Australia, for example, the Pitjantjatjara people established a system of firestick farming, which involved using controlled burns to promote the growth of desired plant species and maintain ecosystem balance. This system, known as raking, played a crucial role in maintaining the health and productivity of the desert environment, allowing the Pitjantjatjara people to thrive in one of the harshest environments on Earth. As the Pitjantjatjara people continued to thrive in the deserts of Central Australia, their sophisticated systems of ecological management and social organization allowed them to maintain a delicate balance with their environment. However, the arrival of European settlers in the late 18th century would soon disrupt this balance, marking the beginning of a profound and far-reaching impact on Aboriginal societies. In 1788, the British established a penal colony in New South Wales, and over the next several decades, European settlement expanded across the continent, leading to the displacement and marginalization of Aboriginal people. As European settlers arrived, They brought with them new diseases such as smallpox and influenza, to which the Wiradjuri had no immunity. The resulting epidemics decimated the Wiradjuri population, with some estimates suggesting that up to 90% of the population died in the first few decades of European settlement. Those who survived were often forced to adapt to European customs and ways of life, leading to a loss of traditional practices and cultural knowledge. In the early 19th century, the British government began to establish missions and reserves for Aboriginal people, with the aim of civilizing them and integrating them into European society. One such mission was the Wellington Valley Mission, established in 1832 in what is now central New South Wales. The mission was run by the Church of England, and its goal was to convert the local Aboriginal people to Christianity and teach them European farming practices. However, the mission ultimately failed to achieve its goals, and it was closed in 1844 due to a combination of factors, including disease, poverty, and conflict with local Aboriginal people. As the 19th century progressed, Aboriginal people continued to resist European settlement, often using violent means to defend their land and way of life. Yagan's actions ultimately led to his death, but his legacy as a champion of Aboriginal rights has endured. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Aboriginal people also began to organize themselves into political movements with the aim of achieving greater recognition and rights. One key figure in this movement was William Cooper, a Yorta Yorta man from Victoria who played a leading role in the establishment of the Australian Aborigines League in 1936. The League's goal was to promote Aboriginal rights and advocate for greater recognition and representation, and it would go on to play an important role in the struggle for Aboriginal equality. In the 1960s, Cooper's grandson, Paul Cooper, would become a key figure in the movement, helping to organize protests and demonstrations that drew attention to the plight of Aboriginal people. The 1967 referendum, in which Australians voted overwhelmingly to amend the Constitution to include Aboriginal people in the census and allow the federal government to make laws for them, marked a significant turning point in the struggle for Aboriginal rights. The referendum paved the way for the establishment of the Aboriginal Tent Embassy in Canberra in 1972, which became a focal point for Aboriginal activism and advocacy. The embassy's founder, Billy Craigie, would go on to become a prominent figure in Aboriginal politics, serving as a member of the New South Wales Parliament and advocating for greater recognition and rights. In the decades that followed, Aboriginal people continued to push for greater recognition and equality, with significant milestones, including the establishment of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Commission in 1990, and the apology offered by Prime Minister Kevin Rudd in 2008 for the forced removals of Aboriginal children from their families. Today, Aboriginal people continue to work towards reconciliation and greater recognition, with ongoing efforts to address the legacy of historical trauma and promote greater understanding and respect between Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal Australians. The historical impact of Aboriginal Australians extends far beyond their own communities, influencing the very fabric of Australian society and shaping the nation's identity. Theirs is a narrative of survival, of cultural preservation, and of an unyielding quest for recognition and equality. It is a testament to the human spirit's capacity to endure, to adapt, and to thrive even in the darkest of times. Thank you for joining me throughout this historical journey. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, remember that, to understand the present, we must first understand the past.